Hello scholars, today we're going to take a close look at If by Rudyard Kipling. We have done this a few times in class and I want to make sure that we review it again on video so you can always return back to it when you need it later. So again, our title is If by Rudyard Kipling. You can always YouTube the audio if you'd like to listen to it on your own. We've looked closely at stanzas, remember a group of lines put together, 1 and 2. Today, we're going to look closely at stanza number 3. This is going to prepare you for your mid-unit assessment. Ultimately, you're going to be able to look at the 4th stanza, which you have not seen yet, and you'll be able to describe the meaning of words. Remember, that's one of our standards is, taking figurative language and describing it in literal terms, what it actually means. And so our goal here today is to take a look at this stanza. Again, identify how it fits into the entire piece of poetry, meaning, remember our theme is the advice for life and how to respond to certain things as you go through adulthood. And again, remembering it's from a father to a son. And so I'll read the first stanza to you, and then we'll go ahead and break it down. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. So this stanza is very powerful. It's discussing a lot of different things that could happen to you as you go through life. So it says, if you can make one heap of all your winnings. Now this sentence here, I'm going to go ahead and highlight it for you. This sentence here, we'll highlight it in orange and make the font white so you can see it. If you can make one heap of all your winnings, what this is saying is it's not saying you're going to actually win money or win items. It's saying if you can take one big chunk of the things that you believe in and the things that you're good at and risk it to at any moment in your life and then lose and start again. It means when you are losing, you don't give up, right? You continue, you start again at the beginning. You begin again, regardless of being knocked down, regardless of losing it all. You start up and you try again, because in life, this right here is telling us that in life, you are not always going to win. And knowing this is half the battle. Because if you know and you go into life and you go into this, go in with this idea of always winning, you're going to be very disappointed because no one is good at everything. No one's going to win at every turn. You might get lucky very often, but there will be at least one time in your life where you don't win, and you need to have that strength in you, that struggle is real and it's okay mentality, because you need to be able to pick it all up and start at the beginning, okay? And not dwell on your loss, not continue to go back to that and say, like, I've tried this and I failed. It's more along the lines of, I've tried this, I'm trying again, but not dwelling on that fact or holding on to the idea of losing, okay? Because again, losing can be anything. It can be losing your job, it could be losing a game, it could be, just not getting to where you want to be by a certain point. It doesn't have to be win or lose per se, but he's choosing these words to make it more relatable. He's making this so that you can connect to it as the reader, okay? So the idea of winning and losing, you learn that at a very young age, right? So he's talking about losing here, and again, we all are familiar with what that means because we're going to go through it at least once or twice in our life, if not thousands. And so again, breathing this is meaning don't let it control you, right? Don't let that loss control your next move, because you need to get up, dust yourself off, and try again. Okay? So he's talking about this. And then this part, it goes on to say, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew. Now, this is a word that's unfamiliar. So what I would recommend is I would Google it. Sinew, a piece of tough fibrous tissue, uniting muscle or bone to bone, strengthened with or as if with sinews. So if we go back to our text with this definition in mind, you can force your heart and nerve and sinew, so that strength or those pieces that hold it all together. He's having you to visualize all of this, to visualize the idea of forcing yourself. So force means to push very difficult, very hard, right? Push very hard, go forward. Force your heart, meaning what you feel, and nerve, meaning being brave, right? If you have the nerve to do something, it means to be brave. And sinew is that strength. So again, looking back at our definition here, a piece of tough fibrous tissue or strengthened with. So he's discussing strength here. So again, feelings, bravery, strength to serve your turn long after they are gone. So you may no longer have a heart or the feeling to do something. You may no longer be brave. You may no longer have the strength, but yet you serve yourself and you continue long after those things are gone because you need to push forward. You need to keep going. And it's saying, and so hold on when there is nothing in you. So it goes back to this, right? The heart, the nerve, the sinew, the strength is within you. Okay, it's within you. And this idea of continuing after it's gone, continuing after nothing is left, this last sentence kind of wraps it up all together. It says, accept the will which says to them, hold on. Okay, so hold on is like the last, kind of your last breath, your last effort, regardless of if the heart, the feeling is gone, the nerve, the bravery, the strength is gone, the sinew, the strength. If it's no longer there to help you, you still have to have this will. And again, I'm going to put a comment here. Will is not a person. Will is kind of like your ability to have effort, so ability to continue or push forward. So like the will to live or the will to succeed, meaning you try something with all your might until you stop, until you have nothing left. And all that part of you says is hold on, meaning don't give up. Okay, so the hold on here is a way, figuratively, because you're not really holding on to anything. It's a very figurative statement. So literally it means don't give up. Okay, so again, we've got this tiny stanza, and I want you to think to yourself, you're going to be answering this question on the sheet of paper. Okay, so the question I'm going to have you answer here is, how does this stanza number 4, fit into the entire poem? What is its purpose? Okay, now this is a bigger question than just looking at this one stanza. You may have to go back and use that tool of rereading and using those context clues to place the purpose of this in the rest of the poem, because if you look at this, this whole stanza is a little different than the other ones. The other ones give us individual rules or advice every couple of lines. This stanza is kind of a rule in and of itself. So how does it fit into the entire poem, meaning what's its purpose? Okay, why did the author include that? Why is it in the structure that it is? Because you only see if twice here, right? And in the others you see it multiple times. Keeping that in mind, again, the structure. Why would Kipling put this in the poem? Please give me 2 to 3 sentences explaining how, or explaining those questions there. So again, on a sheet of paper, how does this stanza fit into the entire poem? What is its purpose? Why would Kipling put this in the poem? You can use each question as a sentence starter if you want, or kind of answer it on your own. I just want to see if you can analyze how this particular group of sentences or this stanza fits into the poem as a whole.